the reality, of course, when it comes to the franchisor-franchisee relationship, you know, there's no doubt about it that the franchise agreement typically is written in favour of the franchisor. So, just stating that to be. However, in terms of from a partner perspective, and I definitely, uh, I use that term routinely. Um, for me, it's not about necessarily in the same context as a 50-50 business partnership, or for example, but I think it is. I think the mindset of having a partner relationship, and as part of that, being really clear that for any franchise business to succeed, it comes back to for me, the reality of it needs to be an interdependent relationship. So it needs to be one whereby, for the franchisee themselves to succeed, that's what franchisors need. Ian's point about making sure that the franchisees are selected and awarded with great due diligence is crucial for me. Mindset, and that's part of the mindset that I think franchisees need to come in with. But mindset itself is also key. And I think that, part of this assessment process is about, are the individuals who are coming through the recruitment process, do they possess the right mindset to be able to be self-employed business owners? And again, I've seen it time and time again, whereby in some instances, the reality is that some prospective franchisees have done, and what some franchisors have allowed, is for them to actually buy a job. And that, can be a really, really tricky situation, particularly when it comes to mindset. And, just to add into that, I mean, two of the two attributes that I would say that stand out for me pretty much above everything else in franchising is to ensure that both the franchisor and the franchisee either have or are able to develop a level of grit and resilience to be able to deal with what is involved in running a business. And what I've seen over the years is that those who possess a level of grit and resilience that is perhaps beyond, certainly beyond, without being scathing to employees, but beyond a lot of employees, they are able to actually get through the challenges and the hurdles and the barriers that are going to be there. And yet, conversely, without having that ability and without having this kind of conversation right up front, including around expectations and what does that interdependent relationship look like, if we don't do that as franchisors, you end up very, very regularly with misalignment, and that's where when the challenges are coming down the line, that's the route to disputes and whatever else, which is obviously not what anybody wants.
And Graham's spot on with, obviously, the franchise agreement is written in favour of the franchisor, and quite rightly, they've developed systems, processes, a brand, a model that franchisees can take advantage of. But it's also, if you're a franchisee and you can comply with the franchise agreement, you've got no worries at all. There's no issues. And actually, it's almost like an insurance policy. Let's say, for example, you've got a rogue franchisee next door that's causing bad PR in the area, bad, customer referrals and relationships, etc., the franchisor can do something about it. It's almost like an insurance policy that if you can comply with the agreement, you've got no issues, and it's actually protecting the brand and your investment. I think going back to the question is that the franchise agreement is there to protect both people. It's there for both people to understand what their obligations and relationships are, but it's not a human. It's not a human document. It's very black and white, and it's a legal entity. A franchisor and a franchisee need to actually work together to build that relationship, that trust, that integrity, and to understand that it is a working partnership where both parties stand to benefit.